folks. Mr. Live Ocean. Or you can call me Randy Stark. What have you. Doesn't matter. Call me anything you want as long as you call me. Alright, just make sure Restream's actually working. I thought it was frozen. Alright. I can now minimize that. Here we are. Finally, another episode of Stark Naked Music Theory. And yes, I've been practicing. I should have been doing this sooner, more often, but it's always so late by the time I get, ready. And I was hoping to get a little further along on the song. I'm doing all right with it, but the main thing I've been practicing is Bulletproof, I Wish I Was, by Radiohead. Still the only song I know. And it's an interesting song. I like it. It's not too easy, not too hard, right in the middle. One thing I hadn't been doing is a bunch of chords. All the more reason to do it this way so I can see it better. Sure, I do have a little music stand I can put on my desk, but I'd rather, put it on the screen here and go through those after I show you where I'm at. I haven't practiced yet. Trying to waste any time. Other than that, of course, since we're on YouTube, I've been gaming, of course. I do need to go through YouTube to see, is it possible for me to change categories? I don't know if there's a game specific category. Between gaming and music, I should have it set up, and I don't know. Do I have to start the stream and then change it? I don't know. Restream makes it easy and difficult at the same time. And here we go. Now we don't need the capture card yet. And don't even need this, but just in case I want to. So here's C, but we're doing a C7. But it doesn't sound the same as what I'm about to play. This is actually A minor. Wrong spot. There we go. Beginning of the song. So A minor would be this. We're doing 7. So actually, let's go down to another octave. It sounds about the same. Anyway, enough of that for now. Let's play the song. It'll take some getting used to doing it this way again. I'm sitting too far back, so let's bring the mic closer so I don't have to move my ass. I can't. It's pretty tight. All right. And I'm not going to do the normal strumming pattern. It's like I'm just going to do what feels right for playing by myself for now. I'm a little nervous. I should look at the screen. There we go. Yeah, wrong fingers. I should have trimmed my nails before I started. Dang it. Too late. Yeah, they're a little long. Biggest problem is starting over, which I've actually gotten better. Going from the D sustain 2 back to the A minor 7 used to be my biggest handicap, but that's not the problem now. Now it's just getting my fingers not to touch the other strings. That's the biggest problem. Oh, that sounds terrible trying to this easier to move, but nope. That doesn't matter. Tight or loose does not matter. All right. Let's kind of start over here. So we were being in the dark. Normally I have the overhead lights on. Why is that so bad today? It's because I'm nervous. I am nervous. My nerves. Can't even talk right. All right, start over here. Try not to hit the E, high E too much. I feel like it drones on a lot, which is why when I was looking at the tab by Songster, it's instead of doing the G6 with the B at the bottom, it's a B minor at 13. And here's the difference with that. So instead of playing this, you add this finger, which is a nice chord, but it doesn't sound like the actual recording. What it sounds like is if you take the piano version that someone had come up with, then it kind of matches. So that's where I think that tab comes from. They were instead of going to the source material, they went to the piano version, transcribe that into guitar, and that's why it's so confusing. So keep that finger up, and then do this D sustained to. And then start over. Except you hit these three strings, that's the pickup note, which, according to the sheet music, isn't played before every repeat of the verse. Call it the verse, whatever. The main phrase. But I like hitting it. I like the fact that I can do that pretty consistently without hitting the high E or any other strings. It's some of the other ones where I accidentally hit the low E. Sometimes I forget to hit the D. Now I'm messing up my middle finger more than it used to be. This finger I'd always put over here like I've been doing, and this usually I get right. But now today I'm doing this. Sounds worse doing it live. That's the thing about the song. That repeats so much, and then you get into the chorus. Sounds so weird. All right. Do this right this time. Start with the G6 with the G at the bottom. I want to hit all the strings. I'm doing it right. Strumming pattern is just like all over the place today. Sorry. Start over. And repeat. hardest part is the chord at the very end of the actual chorus. Because even though it's not hard to finger, it just sounds bad. Which is that is the right chord. It's missing, of course, is the lead guitar. It's almost as Johnny was trying to mess up that chord, or not Johnny. Johnny, I believe, is playing the lead guitar. I don't know all the names of the band members. And there's Colin, who is the drummer, I believe. No, right? No. Let's look it up. All their names are on the sheet music. I know Tom York, of course, is the singer. He does some of the guitar work and some of the piano work, but I don't know which song he does it in. Radiohead band members. Nothing to do with Theory, but whatever. So Johnny's guitar, Colin is bass guitar. Just says Philip is a member. Doesn't say what he does. So Clive is just another member. Why is Google so weird about that? So Ed O'Brien is probably doing the acoustic part. There we go. And then Clive has a picture of him behind the drum set, so he has to be the drummer. Philip, what does Philip do? He's also a drummer. Huh? I mean, they are my favorite band, and yet I do not know. But I'm learning. By being a member of the Radiohead subreddit, I'm getting somewhere with this. Enough of that. So I get the sound right. Why did I lift that finger? It stays down the whole time. One thing about the pinky is always in that same spot. Get closer to the actual bar. There we go. And I just keep repeating that over and over. The whole song and all that. Enough torture for that for now. Let's move on. Oh, but let's do the actual strumming pattern. Let's do that real quick. And maybe I actually play the whole song. Now the actual verse where Tom's playing. Oh, hello, Mr. Knoxville from Argentina. How's it going? All right, now the actual verse. Tom is singing. I'm not ready to go live. It was actually better at the end there. Actually did that one chord right. And then there's a couple of measures of rest. And then back to the verse. It's weird. Because my nails are long. I get it. Chorus again, which is going to be repeated a little bit more because the chorus the second time is twice as long as the first time. Get the pattern right. And that is, if I was playing it right, the whole song. Okay. Now let's get into the theory a little bit. Well, I could bring up the theory and talk about, not the theory, but the sheet music of the song. People can know what I'm actually trying to play here. Let's bring up Chrome and let you see it. Oh, what's doing Chrome? Shoot, that's always popping up. Like, I don't care. Thanks, but no thanks. Oh, another one? Great. Okay. Oh, that's the version I don't look at. Why have it open? Close that. What? This is not even the other version. All right. Here's the version that I've been playing. So we got the A minor 7 in the beginning, then the C major 7, G6 with the B at the bottom, D sustained 2. To talk about the theory, I mean, this is an A minor. Oh, you can't see that. Oh, probably should add that someday. A major, minor, and then add the 7, and then you go up to the C, which of course sounds different on the piano. G with G6 with the B at the bottom. Oh. Maybe next time I actually need to figure out exactly what's being emitted. The normal G is this, but the G6, here's the 6, but you'll emit the 5th, and that's a G6. But in this case, to be at the bottom, probably this. Get the right octave. And a D sustained 2 with the B at the bottom. So a D would be, that would be a D major. That'd be D minor to B major. D sustained 2. I definitely gotta look up. Because the 2 would be this. That's not what's being played here. Why there's a B at the bottom when there's not a B in the D sustained 2? Good question. Because a D is D, F sharp, A. That's a B. Anyway, I'll look into that some more later. I was trying to get into theory, but I actually need to know how to play a D sustained 2. Like, what do you omit? Do you omit anything? You just throw the 2. My finger can't reach all the way to that E. So with the B at the bottom, where's the 2? How does the 2 work? So that's why I gotta look up what does a D sustained 2 actually make up. Looking at the tab isn't going to tell me much. It's going to tell me that the B string is the 3rd finger. 3rd fret, not 3rd finger, 3rd fret, and that's what that'd be good. All right, take me forever to actually figure out what note that is. I'm not very good at saying, oh, that's a D. Yeah, okay, that is a D. So we got the D there, an A here, of course a D there. So D is repeated. That's the B at the bottom. So where's the, and there's the E. But how to, translate that to the keyboard, that's another story. So anyway. Let's go to do what I hadn't done in a while. Let's talk about chords. Other exercise I used to do all the way up until I started messing with that song. All right. Let's start with the C. So I can see that. Okay. One of the most common chords. Very similar to one of the chords we're going to play that we played in the song. In the song, we play this C7. Make it a regular C. It almost sounds like the A minor 7. A minor 7. And that's the actual C. Very similar but different. That's how I came across figuring out I should start playing the song Bulletproof. So I was just playing around this. And I threw my finger down here. It almost sounds like I'm playing that song I was just playing a minute ago. But not really. Similar, but different. All right, back to the C. That's it. All I gotta do is hit it. You know that is the C. Sure. Looking at this deal, you get the C at the bottom, E, G. That's the C chord right there. The C is doubled and the E is doubled because it's a guitar. With 6 strings, you can do that. Otherwise, we play straight C without the doubling. All right. And now the C major 7, which is the actual chord being played in the 2nd chord of the song. Difference is by lifting that finger up instead of playing the C again, makes that chord a B, which is the 7th. Yeah. and this chord here that I kind of still hate. But we'll try it anyway. Make sure I get on the right fret. Hardest part still is the little mini bar and the stretch from here to there. My ring finger still wants to move. Thought I had better last night. See? The minute I get my pinky finger in place, the ring finger moves. Yeah, I'm not even going to try strumming that. That is a work in progress. This is what I like to do. Like for getting used to the guitar, just running through all the chords in this chord book. I think it's a decent exercise. Lets me know which chords need work. And helps to build the calluses I still need. Close. So for the C sustained 4, we still have the C, of course, being doubled. It omits the E. That's what's interesting, because of the 4. You don't want to play the E in the 4th, which is F, which is right here, at the same time. They have a lot more dissonance. So you admit the 3rd, play the 4th, and still have the 5th. In this case, they're also doubling the 4th. That makes it clear. I wish I could play that C6 that I can do with the key of C like I do with the key of G, D, and A, which I will play right now. Real quick. Another exercise I do. I do it every time I practice. Here's, doing the key of G. Hard to get back to the G sometimes. Well, doing it live. All right, and I'll do the same thing. It's going from the tonic, in that case G, and then the G major 7, just like, the key of C. And then the G6, so there, yeah, G6, the G sustained 4, and then back to the G. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but in D. I can see what I'm doing. Fingers get in the way. Oh, and then the newest one is A. As at least one key I'd introduced to that sequence. one of the exercises I do. Now I'm going to play the D minor. So instead of the D, we're lowering the third to make it minor. Remember how to do it right. As opposed to D major. All right. Moving on. And then, of course, one of the easiest, not the easiest chord, but the second to easiest, E minor. The easiest would be the E minor 7. All right. Because normally an E would be... Just the note. That's E minor, but E major. Play it on guitar, so E minor, E major. All right. Got to talk about theory a little bit. Now the F. Still not the easiest chord to play, but you know it's coming along. Bar chords are always hard. Get my fingers on the right strings. Almost. There we go. Speaking of exercises, I'll do another one real quick. But I'll go between the E major and E minor, which is like the same shape, just move over a string. Start with the minor, A minor. And then why I'm doing that is because then you add the bar. Oop, and do the same thing otherwise. Which is a B minor here. Come on, man. And then the F. Just keep going back between that. That is, a lot of songs are like that. We're actually not in the right key for me to illustrate. But you can do that same pattern all the way up the neck, and it always sounds minor when you do, the B minor shape, you call it, and it always sounds major and do the F major shape as you go down the neck. And it gets easier as it goes down. All right, now for the last chord in the key of, for this book, key of C. The G. How about I get my finger closer to the bar? All right. Now, A minor. Then we get to show here. Here's A minor, and here's the E. E is a fifth above A minor. It's very common to go from the 1 to the 5. Roman numerals, usually how it's written out. And there's a lot of songs where you do a lot of that. Just A minor to E, A minor to E, maybe E again, A minor to E, maybe A minor, E, whatever. I'm sure there's some other chords in those songs, but when you go between those two, it almost sounds like a song. Oh, wrong mouse. Yeah, you can kind of see that, maybe. So here's a normal A. basically lowering the third again. A minor. And that was the E, of course. E major. All right, like I was playing 3 minutes ago. And here's a different version of the A. Start on the 5th fret. A minor 7, as opposed to the A7 I was doing earlier. Which is just lowering and adding the other finger. So we got the A minor. Index in the wrong spot. Oh, not the E. Yeah, it's not a lot, but if I trim my nails, very important, just trim your nails. Keep them short when you're playing the guitar. Now A minor 6. All right. And we're done the E. Moving on. The E7, which is just like the E minor 7, you just raise that third finger up to the E7. So E major. And you can't see if the pinky's in the way. Enough of that gum. It's now stale. Oh, a different version of the E7. Why not? I haven't been practicing these chords at all, as you can tell. 7th fret. Got this deal. And a little bar. Oop, go further down. This is usually a little rough. Alright. Admit the low E. When you play an E7 or any 7th chord, it almost sounds like it wants to resolve back to the tonic. That's why a lot of times you can just go between an E and an E7, back to an E, and it almost sounds like a song. Probably some songs are like that. I don't know. I don't know very many songs yet. I'm getting there. An E9. Probably spend more time on it, but we're in a hurry. It's been 40 minutes. All right, let's go a little longer. We'll do at least an hour. So, all right, so that is all the popular chords in A minor. Now G, like I was playing earlier, the G major 7, the G6, and the G sustain 4. Don't need to play those because we played them earlier. All right, skip the A minor as well. We've been playing that. See how far we get in this book without having to do too much reading. Oh, so B minor's down here. So what was I playing before when I had the bar up there? Good question. That would have been... Everything was raised up. Makes it lower. It's not an A minor. That is a very good question. I think I was going between. The other one was F, I believe. All right. I'm sure I can figure it out by just looking through this book. Oh, B flat minor. So I was close. Everything was just raised up, raised down, half step. So B flat minor. Oh, okay. I need that reminder. No, we're not on A. We're on E minor. Nope. No, we weren't. There we go. So let's play the B minor finally. The real B minor. Of course, it sounds better than the B flat minor because it's further down the fret. There's less tension in the strings the further down the fretboard you go. So those who can't play the F, move it down. Play an F sharp major. Or even further down, go to G major that way, I believe. Just a bar version of the G major versus the wide fingering, which is crazy to some people. Curious what G's they're used to playing. All right, skip the C. We've done that. We've done the D today. I mean, normally I'd hit it again just to get more practice with each chord, but that's okay. All right, E minor again. Oh, now we got a different version of the E minor, up higher on the fretboard, just by a little bit. Same track. All right, not too bad. Oh, yeah, there's that E minor 7 I've been playing. Just one string to hold down. E minor 7. Easiest chord, other than doing it fully open, which is like a something completely different, like E minor. Not even that. It's an E6 add 13 or something. Oh, and then a different version of the E minor 7, kind of like that other different version of the E minor. I guess it's popular. That's why it's in the book. So I can get those other two fingers closer together, but they will not. Oh. Trying to drop the pick. And now another chord I do not like much. But hey, let's try it out anyway. Just trying to do 2 bars and not hit the high E string with the ring finger. Good luck. See, I don't know how to like somehow lift my hand enough to make this one. actually closer than I've ever been. Surprising. Hadn't played that chord in months. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead with that one. Alright, B7's not too bad. Get everything shifted over where it's supposed to be. Man, my hand's getting sore. But I did it, despite the pain. Oh, look at that. Another bar chord. It's a different version of the B7. Like a higher octave. To put it simply. That's right. First try. All right, B9. Just awkward trying to get that bar with the ring finger. And lift the middle finger over without hitting the D string. It's a good question. So here we go. Nope, it's touching. Not today. It's okay in a way. It's just getting that bar there to lay flat. Maybe I've had more calluses, more hand strength. It'd be easier. All right, so that's all the popular chords in E minor. And then D, like we did earlier, or I did. We did the D. Oop. D major 7, D6, E sustained 4. Let's see, done E minor today already. F sharp minor, why not? That's a new one for the day. My fingertips getting a little sore too. It's always the little mini bars where it's just 2 strings. Seems to be harder for me to do than say. Actually, you can bar all 3 of these because the pinky is down here holding it down, so it doesn't matter. Just getting the wrong finger. Maybe it'd be easier to get over the other 2 strings. Yeah, that's the right string there. For the sake of the picture there, I can tuck that one away. You wouldn't normally do that while playing, but for the sake of the picture, they did that just to get it out of the way. I'll do it too. Why not? That one's fine. Feels so awkward. That one's fine. It's the bar that's a problem. See? Those little mini bars are a problem for me. Maybe next time. Yeah, we did the G. Done the A. Only because I did that one sequence already. At least the A's gotten easier. Still a little cramped, but I can usually... Yep. Alright, so that was that key. Now the B minor again. We've already done the B minor. Different version of the B minor. Why not? B minor 7. That's pretty straightforward. Literally. In a row, skipping over every other string. I get my other fingers not to hit the other strings by just enough to create the buzzing. That'd be great. This one's interesting because you're just hitting the 4 inner strings. I'm not going to use my thumb to mute the low E. And then again, what would I use to mute the high E? It's just main thing to do is just hit the 4 strings. That'd be easier than trying to use other fingers to mute stuff, in my opinion. And I don't know what I'm talking about, really. That's a bit of a stretch doing this. Hard to compensate. It's a bit of a stretch. So F sharp minor, just like the F, not minor, F sharp major, just like the F, just up a half step. All right, F sharp 7. So it's the second string over and then the diagonal. All right. And a different version, the same chord. Another octave higher, 9th fret. Come on, Pinky. Which is the same shape as another chord we did earlier, whichever one it was, I can't remember. Just higher up on the fretboard. I don't know about the F sharp 9, but we'll try it anyway. So we get a full bar. Yeah, trying to get that one to reach over. I'm trying to compensate. What's muting it? Probably just the index finger just not being able to. Actually came out better than I thought there. All right. Maybe squeezing too hard just to make it happen. Oh well. All right. A, looks like that sequence I did earlier. Or we listened to. We've already done the B minor. Okay, something a little different. So it's just like doing a A7, just adding the C sharp to make it a C sharp minor. That's a bit of a stretch. Like getting that pinky all the way over. Like, I don't think that's going to happen tonight. Yeah, right. Same problem like with the C6. I'm assuming my hands will adjust someday. Somehow. Alright, we've done a D before, we've done an E. Where are we at? 56, 57 minutes. Okay. We got pretty far on the chord book. My left hand is a little sore, which is good. It's not too bad. All right. I would say this is a success for the most part. Trying to get used to streaming on this system versus the gaming setup behind me. But we did it after however many months it's been. I don't even need to look on Twitch or Kick, and I don't know if my VODs actually get saved for that long, so I wouldn't even be able to tell that easily. I know it's been a while. Sorry. I'll be doing this more often. I was inspired to do this today after talking with another streamer. I also need to add stuff to my profile, and add things like banners and whatnot. Add stuff to my About Me. It'll help to get a different job, an actual day job. Working 4 p.m. to midnight, 4 to 5 days a week. Only leaves me like 2 days, really, maybe 3, to focus on stuff like this. And yet, it's tough because I'm a procrastinator, to be honest. Sometimes I have the time, but I'll be sitting here just messing with my phone, maybe playing with the keyboard when I need to be. Things like every time I turn on the computer, I also turn on the keyboard just so I can have sound. And just in case I do want to play with the keyboard, I need to do it ahead of time, because if I try to do things like turn on Pro Tools and Voicemeeter after doing something else, it doesn't want to work. So I always make sure the keyboard's on before I turn the computer on, and then I turn on OBS, Pro Tools, and Voicemeeter, and I'll find myself just messing around with the keyboard. Like that. And sometimes doing actual songs. Nope. How about another one? Too far. Just stuff that I've figured out by ear. That's why I like playing it. Although I didn't get some other sheet music for other songs, like the other Radiohead songs. In fact, I was going to get the Bulletproof sheet music for piano and try that out. Oh, and singing to that song I've been messing with, but I'm not going to torture you all with that tonight. I need to start warming up my voice, start actually doing scales, and maybe I'll do that next time. We'll see. Anyway, thank you all for listening to this. Hopefully, it wasn't that bad. Hopefully, maybe I showed a little bit of improvement if you had by chance seen a previous video. That's a good thing about YouTube. Yeah, I can look at YouTube and see the last time I did one of these. Thank you, YouTube, for saving all the videos without deleting them. Then again, I hadn't looked at my YouTube page to see if it's even working right. Sorry. Speaking of procrastinating. Anyway, hope you all have a good night. I'll see you all. I'll probably be gaming tomorrow for sure. So if you're on YouTube, you'll definitely see me tomorrow. As far as Twitch and Kick, and X will see me too. I luckily have that as a grab bag. But if you're on Kick or Twitch, like Mr. Knoxville, catch me on my Mr. Live Ocean gaming page. Otherwise, I'll see you all tomorrow. maybe a little earlier than today. Y'all have a good night, and like I always say in my gaming setup, my gaming streams, stay frosty.